Welcome to the Speak Your Piece podcast. My name is Ian McNunn, Big E. Thank you very much for joining. We got a great show coming up. It's Friday. It is officially Friday. We're recording this Friday afternoon, getting ready for a good weekend of sports. And adding to my, Sicko repertoire, I am wearing my Scuderia Ferrari hoodie, as well as I think this is the first reverse retro. It's the first reverse retro Coyotes hat that I got. Coincidentally, I think I got this from what's it called? Tawasin Mills. I got this from a Fanatic store or what's the cap store? Lids. I got it from a Lids at Tawasin Mills Mall in Tawasin, BC. This I can't remember what I got. I think I got it for a gift. Maybe. Anyways, again, very rare, Who else do you know that has a podcast or talks about sports that is simultaneously wearing a Ferrari hoodie and a Arizona Coyotes hat, formerly Phoenix Coyotes? Great show coming up. It's Friday. It's November 22nd, the weekend before American Thanksgiving. I also have a confession. I think I'm gonna shave because, if you look at my facial hair is terrible. I try and do the Movember thing, not to raise money, but I guess for awareness. I guess I could do it for money, but this is terrible. I needed to start last year to do Movember this season. And if you're an audio listener and not a video listener, basically there's just it's just nothing. This is at least a month of not shaving, and it is just horrendous, awful. I might just have to get rid of it because it looks fucking terrible, and it's not good for November. I think the longest I've gone, I think most of the last hockey season, I did not shave, and still did not look great. It was 3 or 4 months of just not looking beautiful or purdy or gorgeous or whatever. It looked awful. So I think I might have to cut my Movember short, even though it's not even really a mustache. It's just the bottom part of my chin. I don't know what you want to call it. It's just awful. So I might have to cut my Movember short. But kudos to anybody who does do Movember. It's a good cause. I would like to take part and would like to be involved, even if I'm showing solidarity. I can't necessarily actually do it, but I'm showing my solidarity. Good show coming up. We got some hockey talk, some Red Wings talk, a little bit of football talk, maybe some movie talk, and then some Sicko Sports to round out the show and to discuss this weekend. Because basically last night I watched the Red Wings play the Islanders, and I don't know if I talked about it on the last show. No, I think the last show I did was on Monday or Tuesday? Basically, you kind of have to get rid of Derek Lalonde. They lost to the Sharks. They were 0-3 on the California road trip. They looked like they didn't really care. And the Red Wings came through last night against the Islanders. They scored 2 goals in the final 5 minutes. Raymond got the game winner with 57 seconds left to give the Red Wings 2 points that they kind of needed, even though the rest of the Eastern Conference that isn't a wild card team. Basically, the Eastern Conference, if you're not a wild card team, is separated between 3 points. Montreal at the basement to the Sabres, I think, are the second wild card team right now. It's very close, but it is the battle of mid, and there's 8 teams, and it's just awful. So I'm glad the Red Wings got a win. I don't know if it was saving the season. It kind of felt like it's saving the season a little bit, because I don't know what the moves are for the Red Wings. If they go and lose 4 straight, they were on track to do so for 55 minutes of last night's game. If they go 0-4, what moves? What are you doing to try and turn the ship around? They don't have a lot of cap space. I think the Red Wings have maybe about $3.5, maybe $4 million to play with. The scoring has been, yeah. I think that was just Raymond's third goal of the season last night. Like he has not scored a whole lot. He's still tied for the team in team lead in points. So he's contributing, playmaking, passing, getting the puck to others, which is good. But you kind of wish he was scoring a bit more. I think Larkin might be the team goal scorer leader. There feels like there just needs to be a bit more energy, a little bit more kind of give a fuck mentality that the Red Wings. I don't want to say they didn't have it because they did put in a decent effort last night. They outshot the Islanders, but I mean they got outshot by the Sharks on Monday night. They lost to the Kings on Saturday. They lost 6-4 to the Anaheim Ducks a week ago. So one game can sort of put a Band-Aid on the mixed feelings that you have, and that's kind of how I feel as a Red Wings fan, how I'm looking at it and approaching it, that a win is nice, especially against an Islanders team that you're competing with for playoff spots, that you're competing with to get points. That's the key difference right there. Like I'm sure if you talk to an Islanders fan today, they're not happy. They're kind of pissed that their team, blew a lead, a 1-0 lead. So, it wasn't the biggest lead, but they blew a lead and they had a chance to at least, for the most part, it looked like they were going to get 2 points. They had a chance to get 1, and they come away with nothing last night. Like, that's got to be heartbreaking if you're an Islanders fan. So, it's not the end of the world for the Red Wings. They're doing okay, I guess, at home compared to on the road. But that California swing, that's a tough one. That's a tough pill to swallow, to get no points against Anaheim. They got a point against San Jose. But the Red Wings now are 3 points back of the Eastern Conference wildcard. The Boston Bruins have 21 points. The Red Wings have 18, and the Red Wings have 2 games in hand. So, do that what you will. Like, I think when we get down to the nitty-gritty of it, the Red Wings aren't going to be near the Canadiens, the Flyers, like those teams. Like, just for context, the Red Wings this year have 7 regulation wins. The Habs have 7 regulation wins, but the Flyers have 4. The Penguins have 4. Those teams are not very good. The Red Wings have a negative 13 goal differential. That's worse than the Blue Jackets. It's worse than the Islanders. It's worse than the Senators. Red Wings are only 4-4-1 at home this year. So, I think my point that I'm trying to make here with the Red Wings is that if they just want to be a middling team and they just kind of want to go through the motions, like, if they just want to be a middling team, maybe make the wild card, maybe be okay, maybe make the playoffs, then okay, you can do that. There is certainly an opportunity to do that. I am just concerned as a Seattle Mariners fan, which, again, weird combination wearing a Coyotes Scuderia Ferrari hat hoodie combo. I am a weird Seattle Mariners Detroit Red Wings fan combination. The thing about being a Mariners fan is, at this time of year, now it's the baseball off season, you almost get kind of apathetic because it's been like this for a few years, where the Mariners are not going to go after the high profile guys. They're not going to go after the big guys, the big names. They're going to kind of just put a Band-Aid on second base, or they're going to try and platoon 2 guys to play third, and maybe one of them will be good. They never go above and beyond what they have to. They'll do a little bit, and it's never enough, and you wonder why, as a Mariners fan, that they miss the playoffs when they're 2 or 3 games out of a playoff spot. It's because they don't go the extra mile to make them 2 or 3 games better. And that's what I'm worried about with the Red Wings, is not doing enough to be 2 or 3 games better and just being complacent with mediocrity. Now, the Red Wings are obviously a much different franchise than the Seattle Mariners, different ownership, different past, much more historical success in Detroit compared to Seattle. But this is what it's been like as a Mariners fan, is we're never going to go and get Juan Soto. We were never going to get Shohei Ohtani. We were never going to go get, let's say, Mookie Betts. Not that I think Mookie Betts was out there. The Mariners are never going to go after those guys. The Mariners are never going to put themselves in a position to get the best of the best because they are indifferent with winning to a certain extent. They want to win, but only at a certain cost point. There's a certain cost that they are okay with winning, but if you go above that cost, then it's not okay to win. And that's what I'm worried about with the Red Wings a little bit. It's a little bit different, I will also say, with how hockey economics are compared to baseball economics. But I just don't want the Red Wings to just be okay being an 88 to 90 point team when there's an opportunity to be a 95 point team and maybe a 100 point team down the line. Instead, you kind of just get in this rut of like, yeah, there's 82 points, there's 88 points, here's 86 points. Now we're up to 89, maybe a 91, but you still miss a play. Like, that's what I think the issue is for me, is just I don't want to see this team be complacent in mediocrity the same way that the Seattle Mariners are. And maybe the Red Wings aren't that. Maybe the Red Wings have a better, understanding of what goes on internally and how how it feels like in the room. What the energy is like, what the mentality is like. But at some point, if you're the Red Wings, you don't want to be the Buffalo Sabres. You don't want to have to be doing this time and time and time and time and time and time again. Or you don't want to be the Ottawa Senators. You just don't. That's just, and maybe the ownership is okay with it financially of like, hey, it's only costing us, winning this much will cost us this much, and that's cool. But if we have to spend this much to win this much, then we're not comfortable doing that. I don't know. I'm just purely speculating, which is probably not a good thing. But that is my biggest fear as a Red Wings fan. And again, it's not even America Thanksgiving. They are 3 points out of a playoff spot. But for a team that I think most people, certainly among Red Wing fans, I would say most people think that the Red Wings should be a playoff team this year, and you could probably say the same thing for Buffalo and Ottawa. Everybody thinks that they should be playoff teams, but certainly the Red Wings, after how last year ended, how they were down the stretch, this team is good enough to be a playoff team. And so far, they seem to be taking a mentality of, well, it's just good enough, and good enough is not good enough. So we'll see. The Red Wings are hosting the Bruins on Saturday. I'm just going to double check. Where are the Red Wings? Saturday at Boston, Monday at Islanders, next Wednesday they host Calgary. There's a bit of an interesting stretch here coming up of like the Bruins Saturday, like within the next week, hosting Boston Saturday, at the Islanders Monday, hosting Calgary Wednesday, hosting the Devils Friday. I don't know. I just, we talk about how American Thanksgiving is like if you're not a playoff team in American Thanksgiving, you're probably not going to be a playoff team in March. So, I don't know. Should be interesting. We'll see. A good chance to get some points here in the next 4 games, especially with the Bruins being, they have not been great. They fired Jim Montgomery this week. But the Bruins, like that, if they're the second wildcard team, that's a chance for you to steal some points away from a team you might otherwise not have the opportunity to steal points from. Same with the Islanders again. If you can beat up on the Islanders, if that's how you can get 6 points in 3 games by beating up the Islanders, because I don't know if you remember earlier this year, the Red Wings beat the Islanders 1-0, and the Red Wings won by just having 11 shots on net. Like, I'm not saying that is going to happen again, nor do I want it to happen, because it's not like that's a sustainable method to success. However, if you can steal some points there, maybe beat up the Flames. I don't know. The Flames are... I think I'm kind of sneaky liking the Flames, sneakily enjoying the Flames this year. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, that's my thought on the Red Wings. Um, at the same time, I would be totally cool if they fired Derek Lalonde to get Jim Montgomery. Like I feel like that's an upgrade at head coach. I know that's not part of the Iser plan, so they're not going to do that. Maybe Montgomery, waits out for a better job in the offseason. Like, I don't know who's going to fire their coach and try and get Montgomery back. Like, I don't know that he would want to go to Pittsburgh. But like if somebody like the LA Kings are maybe calling for Jim Montgomery, maybe they play a not a weird, but they play a really uneventful style of hockey that I think could be taken up a notch if they had a good head coach, and I think Montgomery could be that guy. But all I'm saying is that I would fire my head coach. I would fire Derek Lalonde to bring Jim Montgomery in because I think that's an upgrade. But I'm also a fan. I'm not in the room. I'm not in the building, so I don't know for sure. Yeah, so there you go. There's some hockey talk. Stick around. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. We're going to talk a little NFL football after this break. All right. Welcome back. I'm just going to say it. I didn't watch the Thursday night game last night. Steelers-Browns. Did not tune in. Not for 1 second. Had no interest. I'm how do I put this? I'm kind of surprised because I feel like I'm the guy who will watch any sort of football game. Like I will watch any. I've tuned in to probably, unless I had something else planned that night, and sometimes I do. But like genuinely last night, I was on my couch watching Red Wings Islanders because I wanted to watch that. But otherwise did not tune in, didn't even split screen, like didn't even put on a second screen, didn't split screen it, didn't whatever. Did not tune in for a second of Steelers Browns. Did not care. No interest. I know Cleveland won. I don't know what the score was. I also thought it was a snow game, which is cool. That's fun. I am with the people who believe that there should be no domes in the AFC North, which is awesome. That rocks. I mean, listen. We all know. They build these stadiums not for fans, but so that they can all get sweet money, corporate money, club money, whatever. That's why we're building all these brand new, state of the art, bajillion-dollar stadiums. That's why they're happening. But for for a small moment like last night, where it's a Thursday night game, and it's not like the Browns have anything really going for them right now. They got Jameis Winston, who's hilarious. That I don't know if that dude even is like TV material. Like he might be like, I don't know what R-rated. He might be a little bit too PG-13 for some of the things that like ESPN and like the CBS morning show, whatever they do before their games on Sunday. Same with Fox. He might be a little PG-13 for them, so it might be a little sketch. But I mean, the reason we have all these stadiums is for the corporate dollar. It's for the sweet money. But like last night, every once in a while, sometimes you get a fun, wholesome, everybody coming together and be like, this is cool, this is awesome, snow game, woo. And I mean, the majority of us are not there. We're not standing in the snow having to watch it or deal with it or put up with it. So it's easy for us to say how cool it is in our house and where it's warm and where we can just go to our fridge and get a beer and not have to pay $20 for it and stand in some line freezing our ass off for it. So, there's the comforts in that. But I'm curious to see how Browns fans, I guess really Steelers fans too, fans of the game, for the people who attended last night, if they really enjoyed it and if it was fun and if they had a good time. Steelers fans probably not because they lost. But, it's nice that we, in times like these, can just have a fun snow game, a snow bowl of, Winston throwing a touchdown to David Njoku. I saw that highlight. George Pickens trying to pick fights with literally anybody he can. That's what's cool. That's what makes football fun. Not the sweets or the corporate money that goes into it. What's really fun is you get the wholesome moments like that, and get to spread joy, get to spread happiness. Even if the happiness is watching Cleveland Browns football, which I don't know about that. I saw that there's a John Lovitz commercial. He's with FanDuel, and he's telling, like, I guess he's like the inner conscience of the dude who's like, oh, I don't know who I should bet, and he's like, bet the Browns, and it's like, that's kind of crazy that it's just that commercial of just betting. You know, he said it 3 times. John Lovitz said it 3 times in the ad last night. Bet on the Browns. One, I would have so many concerns if my inner conscience was telling me, you know, bet on the Browns, put real actual dollars on the Browns. Second, I didn't realize John Lovitz still had the same poll. I didn't realize he had that same, you know, I didn't realize that he you know, was still getting commercials in 2024. But maybe he maybe he got a good deal with FanDuel. I don't know. Maybe he's got a promo code that he can use for all of his free bets. I don't know. So yeah, I didn't watch Thursday Night Football. Didn't really care about it, but looked cool. The snow game looked fun, and what I saw on my phone looked like a fun time. Basically, this weekend, Monday night, that's gonna be a good game. Chargers Ravens, the Harbaugh Bowl. That's gonna be like smash mouth of all smash mouth football games. I think it's Rams Eagles Sunday Night Football, which should also be a decent game. The Eagles are 8-2 somehow. I have no idea how the Eagles have won 8 games this year already, but good for them. I don't think they've played anybody. That's what I think I wrote about that or talked about that earlier. It's like the Eagles have not actually played anybody, and their losses this year were to Tampa Bay and somebody else who's good. But the Eagles they would beat up a bad team. So they'll probably make the playoffs because they basically just need 2 more wins and they should get in. But I don't know that the Eagles are all that good. Seahawks are taking on the Cardinals this weekend. I think the Seahawks can be first in the NFC West. I think I saw like if the Seahawks beat the Cardinals and the Eagles beat the Rams, so fly Eagles fly. That's really the games that I'm interested in the most this weekend. I don't know that Kansas City is going to be upset by Carolina. I know there were some people who were joking how funny it would be. I don't think it's going to happen. Kansas City is still really good if you guys like didn't know. So good decent NFL games on Sunday. But I'm probably looking forward, of course, to the Seahawks game. And then Chargers Ravens is just going to be smash mouth. Guards pulling T formations, jumbo package at the goal line. Like, it's just going to be fucking running into some motherfucker's mouth for 60 minutes, and I'm going to love the hell out of it. It's going to be great. That's basically my NFL report for the weekend. I'll talk a little bit about college. There are some college games that I'm interested in. But I'm going to talk about that once I discuss my Sicko Sports preview for the weekend, because there's some good Sicko Sports that you're not going to want to miss out, that you're going to enjoy. So I'm going to take another break here. We'll be right back. We'll discuss the Sicko Sports and basically the rundown for the weekend. And yeah, a lot of great stuff coming up. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. So pretty much the Sicko Sports I'm going to talk about. We got F1, which is in Vegas this weekend. It's weird because like it's in Vegas, but it's at night, and it's technically Saturday night in Las Vegas instead of a Sunday race, because they love the spectacle of racing at night on the strip, which is cool. But it also just means that it's like cold. Like guys at the media day the other day were all wearing toques and like big winter jackets, winter jackets, which is crazy. But the Formula One race is going to be, I think it's at 10 p.m. Pacific on Saturday. So basically my Sicko Sports schedule, I think, this weekend. Saturday, I'm thinking we're going backwards here. So going backwards, Vegas Grand Prix, that's probably my nightcap. That's how I'm going to end the evening on Saturday. And then going back, Notre Dame is playing Army at Yankee Stadium. That is a college football playoff eliminator match. Notre Dame needs to win. Army needs to win. Army is not going to get in, I don't think, with an at-large. Like, they need to win the American Conference to have a shot. If Army gets in, it's going to be as the 12th seed. They're going to basically get in as the American Athletic Conference winner, the final conference winner. And that's assuming that BYU, well, I don't know who the Pac-12 winner. I think it's more just assuming that the Mountain West winner, which is Boise State, doesn't get in. That they lose, they trip up, they lose another game along the way. So Army-Navy, Yankee Stadium, Saturday night. That's on NBC Peacock. I think that's at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. So basically it's Vegas race, college football. I don't know if there's what the college game during the day is, what the afternoon game would be on Saturday. But there's also probably like a solid, like I probably will tune in to watch Red Wings Bruins, because that will be an interest. That should be a fun game, at least to see if the Red Wings can keep up with the Bruins, if they can, be competitive with them, and if not, then there's some real concerns. Wild Flames at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. That's a fun game. That's a really fun game. Let's see if there's any other. I'm just seeing if there's any other. Rangers Oilers is the second of the Hockey Night in Canada games. I don't know if the Leafs playing tomorrow night. I don't think so. I think it's Vancouver, Ottawa, Vegas, Montreal are the two early Hockey Night in Canada games, which the Travis Green Bowl, I guess, now that Travis Green is coaching in Ottawa, used to coach Vancouver, I guess that'll be interesting. Vegas, Montreal, the Nick Suzuki Bowl, that's going to be in Montreal. That could be interesting too. At that time slot, I'm probably leaning towards more the Army Notre Dame football game, just because that's as much as that also has present day implications for the playoff. It does have some history and tradition. Like I don't think this is the first time Army's been undefeated this late in the year since like the 50s. Like it's been forever since Army's been this good. Indiana, Ohio State at 12 Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. That's a good start to the day. That'll be a fun kickoff. So basically, Indiana, Ohio State. We go into BYU, Arizona State's also an interesting one, because BYU, if they want to keep up their their Big 12 hopes, they have to beat Arizona State. They can't lose to ASU and Tempe. That's at 12:30 Pacific, 3:30 Eastern. That's a fun one. Also, I guess a nightcap, like when the Oilers are going to play the Rangers late on Saturday night, that's also when USC and UCLA are kicking off in the Victory Bell, which neither of those teams are ranked. Neither of those teams are good. It's not even going to be that great of a game, I don't think. It's just the history of USC and UCLA, which should be really fun to watch. So basically, Indiana, Ohio State, BYU, Arizona State, then goes into Notre Dame, Army, or Red Wings, Bruins, or I guess for sicko purposes, it would be watching Canucks Sens, which I guess is a thing. I guess I could watch that. At the same time as like BYU, Arizona State is like the Flames in the Wild, and I'd probably be I'd be more impressed to watch that. And then the late night, like after the hockey is all done on Hockey Night in Canada, it's then the Vegas Grand Prix race. What I should do is actually just make this into a graphic, and then just post it as a graphic on social. That would be sick. I'm trying to think of there's also some rugby. I don't know how many people are going to be interested in rugby. Wales are hosting, I believe it's South Africa this weekend. Wales is awful. They have been terrible. I think they lost to Fiji last week, was it? Australia, 52-20 to Australia. They lost to Fiji the week before. I think this is like a 10-game losing streak for the Welsh international team. Like, they are terrible. They're not good. So then they get to host South Africa, which they're like one of the number one, if not best team in the world. So I'm sure that'll go extremely well for Wales at home. That's an interesting Saturday game. England's hosting Japan Sunday in international rugby, which should go well. Scotland, Australia will be a solid one as well. That's two fairly even competitive teams. So there's some international rugby on the Sunday that would basically be my kickoff to then football, which, I mean, I'm probably going to watch the football anyways. Doesn't really matter. See if there's any good. I don't think the Red Wings are on Sunday. Yeah, Sunday's just one game. Sunday's just Utah and Toronto for some reason. I don't know why. But Utah's playing Toronto. That's the one game on Sunday. And then basically, so college basketball as well. St. John's and Georgia. Top 25 men's matchup. There you go. Perfect. A lot of Sicko Sports. A lot of great stuff coming up this weekend. I am most interested in Notre Dame Army, the Vegas Grand Prix, and if the Red Wings are actually going to be good against the Bruins. That's Saturday. Sunday, probably Seahawks, Cardinals, and then 49ers are playing the Packers. I feel like that's a must-win for both teams. I wrote about the 49ers this week in my Substack. Go check it out if you haven't already. That feels like a kind of a win for both teams. I feel like both the 49ers and the Packers need that one. So we'll see. And then Rams-Eagles on Sunday. That's also going to be a fun game. Go Eagles. Fly, Eagles, fly. So, all right, that's the podcast. I'm checking out here. Thank you very much for listening. Greatly appreciated. Have a great rest of your weekend. Enjoy your Friday night, your Saturday, your Sunday. Thank you so much again for listening. Appreciate it. We'll be back on Monday or Tuesday. One of those days. I don't know. Monday or Tuesday. We'll be back. So, thank you again. Please like this video on our YouTube channel. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts, wherever you get your music. We'll be right there. Thank you again so much. I can't thank you all enough for your support. We'll be back again soon. Enjoy your weekend. Peace out.